Good morning, America. Today on NPR, we are here to speak to you about Benjamin Franklin, his life, accomplishments, and goals to make this world what he imagines it should be. Growing up, he was always very interested in reading and writing. In fact, that's pretty much all he did. He worked with his brother at a newspaper stand as an apprentice, inspiring his future writing career and inventions. Unhappy with his treatment, he ran away, settling in Philadelphia, creating an independent life for himself. Throughout the course of his life, he focused mainly on improving himself, as well as the environment around him, which steered the purpose of his inventions and written work. His book, Poor Richard's Almanac, was written to challenge and improve the minds of his readers through life lessons and mind-stimulating stories. His book, Autobiography, the story in which he motivates the use of the 13 virtues, rules that guide yourself to improve, was really a challenge for people to write their own stories. The use of these virtues not only guided his life, but also resulted in his success and rooted his most valued ideas. Self-improvement was his most important and treasured philosophy. Several of his inventions helped people better their everyday life, as well as guided his discoveries regarding electricity. Today, we will interview him over the phone, conversing about his ideas on self-improvement and how that relates to modern-day poverty and unemployment in America. Good morning, Mr. Franklin, and welcome to National Public Radio.
Thanks, Hannah, for that lovely introduction. For all of you out there, I know some of you may not be the biggest fan of me, but you're not the only ones. I've been criticized by numerous people. John Keats reviewed me to be, and I quote, full of mean and thrifty maxims and not a sublime man. Ralph Emerson says, I'm a frugal, inoffensive, thrifty citizen, but I savor nothing heroic. Herman Melville believes me to be shallow and cowardly, replacing truth with clever sayings. In general, many believe that my idea of virtuous living and self-improvement was unrealistic and foolish.
Are there any upsides to your philosophies?
Why, of course there are. Though I have received much backfire, I did have many supporters. All of the founding fathers and I were united by our idea of liberty for America. I was also supported by many of my readers, becoming a beacon of light post-Civil War, with my cheerful stories and positive outlook on life. On that note, as you so kindly introduced, I am a big believer in self-improvement. My work was themed around self-improvement. Being around poverty and ignorance as a child, I'm totally disgusted with poverty and unemployment rates in America today. In 2010, 15.1% of the population was impoverished, and as unemployment rates remain at 7.3% of the population, I would encourage the unemployed to seek job opportunities. I would establish systems in the government to help those who struggle to find jobs because of lack of education.
So, you say you would establish systems. How would this be different from welfare?
These systems, unlike welfare programs, would guide those who struggle in the pursuit of their own success. My life was guided by the journey from rags to riches. As Americans today continue to live in poverty, and while unemployment is still a large problem, I would be a huge activist against both. Being deeply rooted in politics and actively involved in the independence of America, I would attack these issues directly through the government. I would discourage welfare and aided living, which contradicts my idea of self-improvement. Instead, I would offer, through the authority of the government, educational opportunities and training programs for today's adults and youth in which they would be heavily involved in their own success, providing free programs for the unemployed and impoverished. As I once said in my book, The Way to Wealth, God helped those that help themselves. So get up and improve, America.
Well, Mr. Franklin, that's all the time we have for today. But thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. This is National Public Radio. Join us next week.